Hi, my name's Amber Allen, and I am going to be kind of previewing a little bit of what I like to do in prenatal yoga classes. The props that I use in my classes are blankets and a strap and blocks and a bolster. So you can either just follow along if you'd like, if you have those available to you, or you can just watch and then you can join me in class. Right now I'm going to go ahead and get started in a seated position. I'm sitting on my blanket and I am imagining that there is a string or beam of light attached to the top of my head, and it's pulling my spine straighter and up into the sky. And you can close your eyes if you'd like. What I'm going to do is chime my singing bowl 3 times. And what the purpose that serves is, as mothers or mothers-to-be, our minds are constantly moving from one thought to another. It's called the monkey mind. And by bringing our full attention to the sound of the singing bowl, kind of helps put a pause, like a break on that monkey mind action, and kind of gives us a little bit of a breath of fresh air in a constant swirl of thoughts. So, without further ado, just bringing all of your focus to the sound and just seeing how long you can hear the chime. Very good. So just always being mindful of our breath in our yoga practice. We want to breathe in and out through the nose and breathing all the way down into your belly. Now I know that as your baby grows, it creates less space for your lungs. It kind of compresses your lungs and your diaphragm. So really the intent is there. You just want to, as you inhale, bringing the breath all the way down to your belly button, or as best you can, and then exhale, bringing the belly button all the way to your baby. So just remembering to always breathe. If you become dizzy at any time, you can always return to the mat in child's pose. So right now what we're going to do is do what I like to call a moon salutation. It's a practice that I like to practice at night in my night classes, and also to kind of honor the moon and its respect, as the moon has a huge influence on our children and in birth. So stepping to the front of the mat, you're going to stand in mountain pose. So sitting up or standing up nice and tall, imagining that string or beam of light attached to the top of your head again, pulling you high up into the sky. And at the same time, your feet are rooted into the floor, so really rooting down through your hips. You're going to take a wider stance than usual to accommodate the belly as we come down. So inhale and exhale, hands to heart center. Inhaling the arms up. So our hands are going to part slightly, and our arms are going to be as if they're glued to our ears. So we don't want to have them leave our side. We're going to have nice active arms stretching up to the ceiling, and we're going to hinge at the hips. So the arms are not going to leave our ears. You can bend the knees if you need to help support your lower back. You're going to bring your hands flat on the mat. So again, bending your knees if you need to. And your fingers are going to be in line with your toes. So in standing forward bend, just resting here, letting the spine unwind. This is a great thing to do in the middle of the day, especially if you're on your feet a lot or if you're at work. So then on your next inhale, you're going to bring the head up and you're going to bring the right leg back into a nice deep runner's lunge. You're going to bring your right knee down, releasing your toes, and you're going to bring your hands to your thigh. So really pressing the hips down into the floor. This should feel really good, and it's a nice hip stretcher. So you can keep your hands here, or you can raise your hands up into crescent moon here. And maybe a gentle back bend if it feels good to you. So breathing here. And then now we're going to bring our left hand down to the floor. So if you need a block to help you, if your hands don't naturally reach the floor, you can bring your block down to the left. And you're going to press into your left foot, coming into half moon. So right foot is about parallel with the floor, reaching out through the heel, reaching our hand up to the ceiling. And kind of having the intention of swaddling your baby in nice and tight into your belly to help you keep your balance. And then here we're going to bring our right foot just a couple steps behind us, coming into pyramid pose here. So letting the upper body hang down. You're going to have your left hip pressing back and your right hip is pressing forward. So also using the block if you need to here, if your hands don't come down to the floor, because we want to keep those legs nice and straight. Then on your next exhale, you're going to bring your right foot forward, coming back into standing forward bend. So placing those hands back flat on the floor, bending your knees if you need to, lining up the fingers with the toes. Inhaling the head up, bringing the arms up by the ears, stretching out through the fingertips. Arms don't leave the ears. And exhale, hands to heart center, and down by your side. So that's one half of our moon salutation. So if you use the block on this side, go ahead and move the block over to the right. So coming into mountain pose here. Inhale. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up, arms by the ears, stretching out through the fingertips, hinging forward and down, supporting that lower back. Placing the hands on the mat. Inhaling the head up. This time the left leg comes back. So bringing the left knee down, releasing the toes, pressing the hips down, coming up to your thigh. You can stay here, or you can raise your arms up toward the ceiling. And then bringing your right hand down, pressing into your right foot, coming into half moon on this side. So lifting the left leg parallel with the floor, raising the left arm toward the ceiling, swaddling the baby in nice and tight. And then bringing the left leg down into pyramid pose. So letting the upper body hang forward and down, pressing the right hip back, left hip pulling forward. Using the block if you need to right here, if your hands don't come to the floor. And then left leg is going to come forward, pressing the hands into the floor. Inhale the head up, bringing the arms up by the ears, coming all the way up with a straight back. And exhale the hands to heart center, down by your side. Very good. So shaking out the legs if you need to. We're going to go ahead and take a wide stance on your mat. So feet are either parallel or facing out, whichever feels better for you. So we're going to come to a deep squat here. So pretending as if we're going to sit back in a chair. We also want to keep the chest lifted. So if this is intense and you want to keep your hands here to support you, that's fine. Or you can raise your arms out to the side. This is goddess pose. This is a great pose to practice to strengthen your glutes and your thighs to help you prepare for childbirth. So you can stay here. I'm going to add some movement. So placing your hands over your heart and closing your eyes. And just thinking about all of the millions of women around the world who may be in labor or giving birth right now. Now, whether if you're a first-time mom or have had previous pregnancies, you want to bring your focus and awareness to any sort of wisdom that you would love to share with these women. So bringing your hands down to the floor, you're going to gather that wisdom that you have within you, bringing it to your heart, and then sharing it with the women around the world. And we're just going to flow here. So gathering up more of that love and compassion, bringing it to your heart, and then sharing it with these women in solidarity. So remembering to breathe, and then coming back into goddess pose. And then bringing your hands to the floor, straightening the legs. If your feet aren't parallel with each other already, go ahead and do so. Just letting your body hang forward and down. Taking a nice deep breath here. And then go ahead and place your left hand on the floor underneath your head. You're going to raise your right arm up to the ceiling. Just a gentle spinal twist. Breathing here. And then exhaling the hand back down. We're going to switch arms, so right hand on the floor, left arm raised here. And then switching. We're going to go ahead and heel toe the feet together. Then hanging in standing forward bend. And then we're going to put a deep bend in the knees, slowly coming up one vertebra at a time. The head should be the last thing that comes up. So rolling the shoulders back, rolling the shoulders forward. We're going to go ahead and find balance on our toes. So coming up onto our tippy toes, placing our hands out in front of you. And if you're able, we're going to slowly bending our knees again, and we're going to come all the way down to seated. So if you have a bolster, we're going to go ahead and sit onto the bolster, and we're going to work with our strap. And the bolster is here just to make sure that we have a comfortable seat. So if this doesn't feel good, you can use the blanket, but the bolster feels good right now. So go ahead, unravel your strap. And we're going to hold onto the strap with our thumb and our pointer finger. And then we're going to hold it out, right out in front of us, about shoulder length apart. So we're going to inhale, bringing the strap up, and then we're going to bring it back behind us. So this is just a nice shoulder opener and chest opener, especially if we have kids already and we're constantly holding them. It really kind of constricts our chest. So coming all the way down. So go ahead and bring your hands just maybe a little bit closer together. We're going to see if we've kind of opened our chest enough to have a little bit more give. So coming all the way up, trying to keep those arms nice and straight. And then pausing here. And then we're going to come back up, but we're going to pause about a fourth away from the top. So we're going to inhale here, and we're going to exhale, hinging over to the left side. We're going to open up the chest, looking up at the ceiling. So breathing here. And then coming back up. We're We're going to hinge over to the right side this time. So looking up at the ceiling, opening the chest, and then coming back down and up and over. Very good. Go ahead and releasing the strap and place it off to the side. So I really stress relaxation for pregnant women. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video by showing you how to create a prop or a ramp with your bolster. What you're going to do is you're going to take 2 blocks. You're going to have one standing all the way up and then one on its side. And you're going to create a ramp with your bolster like this. So this is a great way to relax, especially if you're farther along in your pregnancy and laying on your back is no longer comfortable for you. So you're going to sit with your hips all the way up against your bolster, and then carefully placing your hands alongside the bolster and then slowly reclining down. You can keep your feet like this, or you can have your feet together like this, or you always have the option of having them straight out in front of you. And you can rest your hands on your belly if you like to check in with your baby, or you can have your hands out to the side. So I'm going to go ahead and relax with my feet together. So as you're relaxing, just letting your body grow heavy, letting it sink into the floor, and just knowing that your body is so full of wisdom. Every time that you breathe in and out, you're providing comfort and nourishment for the life that you're carrying within you. And you don't even have to think about it. Your body knows exactly what it needs to do. So resting here as long as you like. Whenever you're ready to come out of the pose, especially if you're reclining onto a bolster, you're going to slowly press your hands back into the floor, lifting your upper body up. And especially if you have your knees out to the side like I do, placing your hands underneath your knees and slowly bringing your knees together. And so that concludes this video. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch. You can go to my website at brightheartmothercare.com to find out my yoga calendar of where I'm practicing here in the Low Country. So thank you so much, and namaste.